We're on the brink of this huge shift in medicine, but it's probably not the one you're thinking of. It's not about a new pill or a new surgical technique. It's about a whole new kind of professional. Someone who was part physician, part creator, and yeah, part entrepreneur. And they're being powered by this incredible wave of new tech that's completely changing how we share and understand medical knowledge. And the ambition here, it's just incredible. I mean, forget those boring old pamphlets you get at the doctor's office. One neurosurgeon's ultimate goal is to build actual surgical video games to break down the complexity of their work. Think about that. This isn't just a small step forward. It's the kind of thinking that's setting the stage for a totally new era in how we talk about health. All right, so that brings us to our first section, a new medical mission. You see, this isn't just some cool new trend. It's really a response to a deep-seated problem. These physician creators, they see this massive gap between what the experts know and what the public actually understands. And they're on a mission to close it. For decades, medical knowledge has been kind of locked away, right? It's been in these super dense, static textbooks in journals that are almost impossible for a layperson to get through. This new vision, it just flips that whole idea on its head. The goal now is content that's interactive and dynamic. We're talking about simulations you can actually play with and animations that make these incredibly complex processes, well, crystal clear. Okay, so it sounds great. It's a fantastic vision, for sure. But here's the million-dollar question. Is there actually a demand for this? Is anyone really asking for this kind of thing, or is it just a really cool solution that's looking for a problem to solve? Well, it turns out the answer is a huge yes. And you don't have to look far to see it. Just hop onto forums like Reddit. You see people asking questions like this all the time. They're actively hunting for tools to make their own medical animations to explain things. The demand is already bubbling up from the ground floor. And this isn't just about wanting flashy visuals. It goes way deeper. As one person put it, they wish beautiful medical animation was more readily available, specifically because they remember more when they see something visually compared to just reading words in a textbook. That right there, that highlights a fundamental need for better ways to learn. Okay, so we've established the demand is there. So what's making all this possible right now? Let's dive into our second section, the Creator's AI Toolkit. We're about to look at the arsenal of AI tools that are turning this whole mission from a dream into a reality. So the engine behind all of this is something called generative AI. And in the simplest terms, it's a type of AI that doesn't just analyze data, it actually creates new stuff. By learning from mountains of existing data, it can generate brand new, totally human-like content, whether that's text, images, audio, or even video. Let's take audio, for instance. Tools like 11 Labs are complete game changers here. You can literally type out a script for an explainer video, and the AI will generate a super high-quality, human-sounding voiceover for you in dozens of different languages. That immediately just opens up professional audio creation to everyone. And the visuals? Honestly, this might be even more mind-blowing. Imagine you need a 3D model of a human heart for a video. In the past, that would have taken a highly specialized artist days, maybe even weeks to create. Now, tools like Meshi.ai or Lumalab's Genie can spit out a detailed 3D model just from a simple text description in minutes. It's wild. So when you start putting these tools together, the possibilities just explode. We're talking about building smart chatbots that can help patients with initial questions, creating voices for those surgical video games we talked about, or narrating audiobooks and articles at a massive scale. And it's not just for content, it's also for building accessibility tools that make sure this critical medical info is available to literally everyone. All right, so this all brings us to our third section, the business of expertise. Because look, having these amazing tools, that's just step one. Now our physician creator has to figure out how to turn this mission into a real, sustainable business. And that means facing the tough, real-world challenges of being a solopreneur. And this is the reality check of being a solopreneur. You have to wear all the hats. You're not just the medical expert anymore. You're also the head of marketing, the accountant, the business strategist. It's a huge mental shift from just showing up to a job as an employee. So, where do you even begin? Well, guides for entrepreneurs usually break it down into these practical first steps. Before you even think about launching, you have to nail down your business idea, figure out who you're selling to, craft a brand that people connect with, and, create a logo. AI can definitely help with some of this, but the core strategy, that thinking, is still all on you. And then there's the big one, money. Now, this chart shows you all the different ways you could get funding, from using your own savings, which is called bootstrapping, to hunting for grants, or even courting big-time venture capital. But let's be real, the pie isn't sliced this evenly in the real world. Every single one of these paths is incredibly competitive, and each comes with its own crazy pressures and a pretty low chance of success. For a lot of these medical startups, finding the funding is the single biggest mountain they have to climb. Which brings us to what might be the most critical part of this whole journey. Section 4, Ethics, Liability, and Bias. We have to confront the very real, very serious dangers of using AI in a field where a mistake can literally mean life or death. A medical communications consultant, Dr. Lakshmi, really just cuts to the heart of it with this question. Just because we can use AI for medical communication, should we be doing this? The technology is already out of the bag. The much, much harder part is figuring out the rules of the road so we can use it safely. So what happens when it goes wrong? Who's to blame? This question of liability, it's a total mess. Is it the physician who's held to a professional standard of care? Is it the hospital or clinic that decided to use the tool? Or is it the company that actually built the AI? The truth is, the law is still playing catch-up, and that creates this giant, risky gray area for everyone involved. And the risks here they're profound. We're talking about everything from the AI just getting facts wrong to scary biases that are baked into its training data from the start. We have to worry about patient privacy, the fact that some AI is a black box where we don't even know how it made a decision, and of course, the risk of losing that essential human touch that's so, so important in medicine. These aren't just minor issues. They are the central challenges we have to solve. So, where does that leave us? It all seems to be pointing to a future that isn't about AI replacing doctors, but about AI being a powerful partner. This is what people are calling the human-in-the-loop model. And it's our final section. And the data really drives this point home. One study found that a staggering 96% of AI-generated content just isn't good enough to be published on its own. It needs a human to edit it, to check it, to give it context. It shows that AI is an amazing tool for getting that first draft done, but the final say, the judgment, the context, the polish, that has to come from a human expert. This brings up a really fascinating long-term question. AI tools learn from the work that humans have already done. So what happens if we, the artists, the doctors, the scientists, stop creating new things? As one medical animator put it, wouldn't it all just start to look the same after a while? AI's creativity at its core depends on our creativity. And that really brings us right to the end. The need for clear, engaging medical information is bigger than it has ever been, and the tools to create it have never been more accessible, more powerful. For any of the experts watching right now, your expertise is the most valuable piece of this entire puzzle. The tools are here, the expertise is yours. So the only question left is, what will you create?